So you stand amongst the ones that you created, and you see the pain in their eyes and the struggles that they go through, and you know that even though it's necessary, it's not something that you really want to see them go through, but you can't take them anywhere away from it, because nothing that you're going to say or do is going to speed that process up for them. Only the ones that are meant to hear you and are meant to receive you will receive you, and the other ones will reject you. And it burdens you. It burdens you, but it gives you joy at the same time, because you know that eventually they'll see, but they don't recognize you anymore. They can't even recognize you when you're right in front of them, and so all they do is walk past and argue and debate and try to find ways to find other different ways when there's really no other ways. But you can't explain this to them in a way that they're going to comprehend, because they're not allowed to, because you know that there's that restriction there that's going to help them get to the point to where they're going to see it for themselves. And so you watch them struggle, but you also know that there's a level that's been reached to where there's so many that are claiming to be, that are trying to teach those that aren't really there, and then you can recognize them so easily, because it's easy to understand what they would be showing if they knew, if they truly had been or truly had seen. And so you know, and it starts to bother you. But at the same time, you're not supposed to let it bother you, because you know that there's nothing that you can do about it in the first place, that it's just something that's necessary, that everybody's going to go through. So you walk around noticing all the little things that people seem to overlook. Like, why can't you see that these things that are hurting you aren't even happening to you? Why can't you see that the things that are hurting you aren't even real? Why don't you see that these are the things that were gifted to you in the first place? And you can't understand why they could just keep holding on to such anger and such disdain. But you do understand. And so you're happy to see them struggle, but they don't understand that, and they can't wrap their mind around that, because all they can see is the struggle itself and not understanding. It's like watching your child drown for no reason, and you're just standing there watching it drown, and knowing that if you didn't throw it in that pool in the first place, it would never learn to swim, and it hurts as they struggle. But you know, without it, they're never going to truly appreciate the things that they have in the first place. And so you try to warn them of these things that are in their path and try to explain it to them so that they can learn to navigate through them. But as you explain it to them, they just get mad at you for it. And it's a struggle. It's a struggle because you just want to help, but you know that helping them would be robbing them in the first place. And you don't want to rob them, because you know if you rob them of going through it, that it's going to stop them getting back to you. And all you want to do is see the you that's in everything be brought out of everything that's around you, because you know that would be great, but then you know how it would be hated again and unappreciated again as soon as you do that. Because if everybody got to that point, then you would have to create a whole new universe all over again and again, and this just keeps happening over and over again. And so at some point you get angry, because why don't you see me? Why don't you remember? Why don't you appreciate? Why don't you love everyone? And so now it's this endless loop, and you've tried over and over again to try to find the perfect way to make everything seem perfect for everything that you've created, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, because no matter what you do, they don't appreciate it. And so you thought to yourself, let me just wipe the slate clean, and now they think that you're this horrible thing because you've moved everything. Well, why does he have this wrath? He sounds like such a horrible creature. Why does he have this wrath inside of him? But you don't understand what it's like to create your children and to have your children turn to you and not even recognize you, not even be able to. Some of them so lost that it seems like they don't even think that you exist anymore. Meanwhile, they're a part of you. And all they want is to feel you again, but you know that if you just reveal you to them, that they would just crumble to the floor in awe and terror, and they would give up the free will that you've given to them. And so you're not exactly sure what to do. And so you just move amongst them, watching them hurt each other, watching them attack each other, watching them carry this hatred. And you try to give them messages so that they can alleviate themselves, and they fight you on it on every angle. But it's okay. You got to remember that it's okay. Because they were meant to. Because they were meant to. And they have to go through these things because they didn't appreciate it when you gave it to them the way that you did the first time, or the second time, or the third time, or the 100th time, or the 1,000th time, or the 1,000,000th time. And so you patiently wait, right? You just patiently wait so that you can welcome those that for those that are actually looking and seeking to try to find you. And so you tell them, welcome home, when they actually do. And that they understand who you are. And you understand because they understand who they are. And then you have these ideas again of maybe we should just start fresh. Maybe there's a better way than the way that I did this time, right? And so you see it. You see a future that seems so destructive. But at the same time, it's a future of destruction that's necessary in order to bring them into their own heavens. And if they can't experience it, then you feel like you failed. Because if you can't bring them heaven on earth by making it heaven on earth, and you can't bring them heaven on earth by making it hell on earth, or by showing them the things that they could be going through for them to get it there, then how is it that you make it so that the thing that you create is happy with what you've created without having it need to bow down to you in order to be able to enjoy it in the first place? This is the thing. This is the thing that I haven't figured out yet. But I will. We will. And we'll be free. And we'll do it again. Because I love you still. And I'm sorry that you don't understand that.